Miyabi has recently been leaked by multiple sources as an anomaly agent in Zenless Zone 0, but there are a few things I would like to question. Now, I am not saying these leaks are wrong, however, I am not saying they're completely right either. As in Zenless Zone 0, there have already been times where the leaks have been wrong, or at the very least misleading, and the most recent victim of this is no other than the undefeated champion himself, Lighter. As many content creators like myself, and players alike, really believed he would be a fire attack agent due to leaks, but it turns out he was not that at all, but turned into a quick swap stun who provides buffs for ice and fire teams. So what I am trying to tell all of you who watch this video is to please not blindly trust leaks 100% of the time, because they can turn out to be wrong, and that can lead to extreme disappointment. But regardless of all this, whether Miyabi is an anomaly or attack agent, at the end of the day, I believe it doesn't matter that much, as she should still end up being a great agent overall. But because of this conversation, I would like to go through a lot of different scenarios and break down both extensively, and why both can make sense, and how she might turn out if she was either one. So please follow along with the timestamps below, and let's get started. Welcome to my channel. My name is Kate7th, and I'll be your host today. I believe we should go ahead and start with Anomaly first. Ice Anomaly is an interesting class type, as Freeze is by far the weakest when it comes to overall damage, as Freeze is more of a utility that allows you to crowd control your enemies, and also trigger the Shatter effect. And Shatter is where I think they can play around with Ice Anomaly the most, as you can easily make it so once Miyabi has triggered Shatter, the Shatter damage itself can be multiplied greatly, or the more likely scenario in my opinion, is to increase Miyabi's crit value within her kit. For example, once Shatter has been triggered, Miyabi's crit value is increased by a certain percentage, as Ice is already inherently tied to crit by default due to how Shatter works. You can even give her a similar passive such as Jane Doe, where Miyabi's crit is increased based on her anomaly proficiency, and you can even potentially reverse it and have her skill more anomaly mastery instead, and either one of these works well in my opinion, as you can give her core skill extra anomaly build-up rate, which is also very common amongst anomaly characters in general, and have it where Miyabi is focused on triggering as much freeze and shatter as possible to increase her overall damage. So I can actually see this working out very well for Miyabi, but there is still an issue, and that has to do with her Section 6 teammate, Yanagi. There was a leak going around that Yanagi and Miyabi will have a team attack just like Kaleda and Ben, but even if this is the case, I don't see Miyabi and Yanagi working well together even if Miyabi is an anomaly agent, and this is due to conflicting playstyles. As if you don't know already, Yanagi is an on-field anomaly DPS, and her most optimal setup right now is to run her with another anomaly agent that has off-field capabilities, such as Bernice. And the big issue is I just don't see Miyabi being an off-field character. Now I'm not saying Miyabi can't have off-field at all, because anything is possible within a game like Zenless Zone 0, but from the very beginning Miyabi has screamed to me and so many others as being an on-field carry. So quite frankly, the only way to make this duo work, even if they do have a team attack together, is to have Miyabi be able to stay off-field. And also having a team attack does not guarantee that you will be good together. As with Ben and Kaleda, their best teams are actually when they are not used together at all. Sorry, Ben and Kaleda enjoyers. So this just seems really unlikely in my opinion, but I would love to see what Hoyo can cook up, and see if they can actually make it work, as it is a very interesting concept and idea. But the best thing though for Miyabi is that her other Section 6 teammate Soukaku would work for her regardless of if she was anomaly or attack, as Soukaku buffs benefit both class types very well, and from the very beginning, even before Zenless Zone 0 released, we saw these two being paired a lot in their promotional videos, so it's not shocking to see them be able to work together in the game once Miyabi is released, as Soukaku can provide resistance shred, ice damage bonus, and a massive attack boost for Miyabi. So the pairing of Soukaku and Miyabi is pretty much unaffected either way, so you can safely finish investing into your Soukaku for her in my opinion. So overall, Miyabi as an anomaly agent is perfectly fine in my opinion, and she should perform well as a DPS regardless, and fit right into Zenless Zone 0, and I would love to see if they can actually make Miyabi and Yanagi actually work well together, or will they just be best on separate teams? But with that out of the way, I would now like to provide a few counter arguments for these leaks, and question some things that don't make much sense in terms of the overall direction for the game. And at the end of these, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments below on these points. And firstly, I would like to ask, why would they put her in the second half and not the first? I wasn't questioning these leaks on Miyabi that much until I saw she was supposedly in the second half of 1.4, and this didn't make much sense to me because of how they have done things with their banners so far. So let's go back to the beginning and look at some patterns, shall we? We started the game with Ellen Joe, and at the time Lycan was her best teammate, but he was already in the game. But followed by Ellen was Juyen, and her best teammate didn't follow until the banner after, and Shingi. And after Shingi was followed by Jane, and Jane's best overall team right now is with Bernice and Caesar. And can you guess who followed right after Jane Doe's banner? Yeah, the king herself, Caesar. And now after Caesar is Bernice, and the character that can take advantage of Bernice the most is in the banner right after her, in Yanagi. So you can see the obvious pattern here, is that all characters' best synergy so far have been right next to each other in all their banners. And now with Lighter on the cusp of being released, and we all know that he buffs fire and ice teams greatly, why would Miyabi be in the second half? And the only logical thing that can make sense for this is if Ellen Joe's rerun was in the first half of 1.4. But some of you may think, isn't it too early for an Ellen Joe rerun? Well, actually, no. No, it isn't. Let's go back in history and look at Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. In both of these games, the first reruns for their characters began in 1.4. In Genshin, it was Venti and Child's rerun, and in Honkai Star Rail, it was Sealer's rerun. So if Ellen Joe had a rerun in the first half of 1.4, then it would allow a Lighter to be right next to a character that would actually make use of him greatly. And this would also help explain why Lighter's signature W engine gives the team crit damage, as Ellen Joe could greatly take advantage of that, and also keep the ongoing trend of how banners are placed going strong. So this is the only way I can see Miyabi being in the second half, and not the first, as I believe it is actually smart to rerun Ellen Joe before Miyabi if you're going to try and get money out of both of them. But another thing that made me question the Miyabi League slightly is actually Haramasa, as him being an electric tack puts him in a weird situation for his Section 6 teammates, because how can they actually make him work with them, as Yanagi is someone who wants a support and another anomaly agent on her team, and how can he work with Miyabi if she also has a high possibility of being an on-field DPS? I am actually going to make a more extensive video on Haramasa in the future, but right now I would just like to quickly question this decision, as it now leaves him on an island where they will now have to make an extremely niche kit for him to possibly work with his teammates. So the information on his leak made me kind of question the leak altogether. But even with all this said, I cannot control the future of Zenless on Zero, and whatever happens when these characters are revealed will be okay. I just thought it would be nice to start the conversation on this and bring the community together to talk about it. I trust that hoyoverse knows what they're doing, and they will be able to give these characters an intricate kit that makes them stand out in their own unique way. But for the people wanting Miyabi, I think it's fine to believe these leaks right now, but I would not pre-farm for her until it's certain that she is an anomaly agent, because you do not want to end up like Lighter mains who pre-farmed attack resources for him, believing the leaks that he would be one, only to be extremely disappointed and see that he isn't, and end up wasting all that daily battery charge. Miyabi should be revealed officially within the next 2 weeks at the time of recording, so if you're going to pre-farm anything, just get resources that you know can't be wasted, such as Denny's or Investigator Logs. Many players started Zenless on Zero for Miyabi, and I believe she'll be a worthwhile pickup for everyone who has waited for her, so anyone who is pulling for her, I wish you all the best of luck, and may you win your 50/50s when her banner officially comes. But let me remind you all that once we hit 5,000 subs, I'll be doing a giveaway for the characters on banner, and that could potentially be Miyabi. So be sure to subscribe for more Zenless on Zero content, and come join the Discord, as we have surpassed 600 members at the time of recording, and I do weekly giveaways there as well. And don't forget to go ahead and check me out on Twitter at Ket to the 7th. And as always, my name is Ket to the 7th, and with that, I'm signing out.